Got a warm drink by your side. Let your mind ease, because this story's worth slowing down for. We're about to dive into an emotional journey where love, expectations, and personal boundaries collide with force. Stay until the end. You might just see yourself reflected in every line of dialogue. Hey, listener, you're stepping into a story where love gets blindsided by a question that shakes its core. I'm Jake, 28, a software engineer in Denver, Colorado, living with my girlfriend of 5 years, Maya, 27, an interior designer. Our life together was a dream, shared plans, cozy nights, a future we could almost touch. We were rock solid, or so I thought, until one quiet evening when Maya dropped a bombshell that cracked my world open. A single question about our relationship's boundaries would test everything we'd built. Let's start where it all began to unravel. Maya and I met in college, two ambitious kids bonding over late-night study sessions and bad cafeteria pizza. She was all creative, artistic, bold designs, her laugh lighting up rooms while I was the coder, steady, wired for logic. We clicked instantly, our differences meshing into something strong. After graduation, we moved to Denver, her for a design firm, me for a tech startup. 2 years ago, we got a loft down to an exposed brick, big windows, a space we made ours with her eclectic art and my minimalist tech setup. At 28, life felt right. Solid jobs, love, a path forward. Our relationship was built on trust and shared dreams. We'd hike the Rockies, plan a house with a yard, even toss around baby name shelf, joking, half serious. Maya's warmth balanced my pragmatism. She'd tease me for overanalyzing. I'd ground her big ideas. We split rent, cooked together, talked about everything, her stressful clients, my buggy code. Fights were rare, resolved with honesty. We're a team, she'd say, and I believed it. 5 years in, I was ready to propose, a ring already picked out, waiting for the perfect moment. Our loft was our haven. Weeknights were Netflix marathons. Weekends were brunches or drives to Boulder. We'd mapped our future. Save for a house, marry by 30, maybe kids by 33. Maya's design business was grown, just landed a big hotel project, and my coding gigs kept us comfortable. At 28, I felt invincible with her, like we could handle anything. Her spontaneity, surprise picnics, random dance parties kept me alive, while my planning gave her roots. I thought we were aligned, our values locked, love, loyalty, building together. Then came that Tuesday night, a week after a perfect hiking date. We were on the couch, takeout containers scattered, a chill playlist humming. Maya set down her wine, her face oddly serious. "Jake, I've been thinking a lot," she said, voice soft but deliberate. "Have you ever considered an open relationship?" The words hit like a glitch in my brain. I laughed, thinking it was a joke. "What, like dating other people?" "You're kidding, right?" Her eyes held mine, steady, no smile. "I'm serious. I love you, but I've been wondering what it'd be like to explore, with others. Together, maybe." My world tilted. The room felt smaller, the air thin. I set my fork down, heart racing, trying to process. "Explore," I echoed, voice tight. "Maya, we've been together 5 years. We're talking about kids, a house. Why this, now?" She leaned forward, earnest. "I'm not unhappy, Jake. I love us. But I'm 27, and I've only ever been with you. What if there's more to experience? It could make us stronger." Her words were calm, but they gutted me. Stronger. Our love, my everything, suddenly felt like it wasn't enough. I kept my cool, barely. "So, you want to sleep with other people?" I asked, forcing clarity. She hesitated, then nodded. "Not just that, it's about freedom, curiosity. We'd set rules, stay honest. The word burned. This wasn't the Maya I knew, the one who'd planned a life with me. Inside, I was collapsing, shock, hurt, betrayal, but I swallowed it, nodding like I was debugging code. "I need to think," I said, voice flat. She touched my hand, but I pulled back, the warmth of our loft now cold, her question a wall between us. That night, I lay awake, Maya asleep beside me, her words looping. An open relationship. It clashed with everything I believed love was commitment, not exploring. Was she bored? Had I missed signs? At 28, I'd poured my heart into us, only to feel like a placeholder in her new vision. Our future house, kids felt like a lie. The ring in my drawer mocked me, a symbol of a trust now fractured. I wasn't just hurt, I was lost, questioning if I even knew the woman I loved. Listener, Jake's dream life just shattered with Maya's curveball, and their love faces a test. Is her question a bold move or a betrayal? Stay with Metha's stories about to dig into the cost of love when values collide. Jake's world was rocked by Maya's suggestion of an open relationship, a question that shattered the trust he'd built over 5 years. At 28, a software engineer in Denver, Jake had envisioned a future with Maya. 27, an interior, Esigner marriage, a house, kids. Their loft, their love, felt uncheckable until that quiet Tuesday when Maya asked to explore others, framing it as freedom, not betrayal. Jake, gutted but composed, saw it as a line crossed, his commitment questioned. Now, facing a choice between love and his boundaries, he'd make a decision that would redefine his heart and their shared life. The moment Maya confirmed she was serious about an open relationship, Jake's insides churned, but he held it together, his coder's logic kicking in. I need time, he'd said, retreating to the balcony, the Denver skyline blurring through his shock. But time didn't soften the blow. Her words freed him. Curiosity felt like a rejection of their life, their plans. 5 years of love, of late-night talks and shared dreams, reduced to her wanting more. At 28, Jake had given her his all, only to feel like he wasn't enough. Sleep didn't come that night. Her question was a wound, and trust was bleeding out. By morning, Jake knew his answer. Over coffee, Maya tried to lighten the mood, her smile tentative. Can we talk about it? She asked. Jake set his mug down, voice low but firm. There's nothing to talk about, Maya. I can't do this. We're done. Her face froze, eyes wide with shock. Done. Jake, I was just opening a conversation. There's no one else I love you. Her voice cracked, but Jake's resolve held. You asked to change what we are, he said, eyes steady. You want freedom to explore. I don't. That's not love to me. Her tears started, but he felt numb, the betrayal too raw. Maya pleaded, her words tumbling. I didn't mean to hurt you. I thought we could be honest, try something new together. It's not about you not being enough. But Jake was done listening. Her suggestion wasn't just a question, it was a dismissal of the monogamy he'd built his life around. To him, love was a promise, not an experiment. You crossed a line, he said, voice breaking despite his calm. You don't get to test my boundaries and call it a conversation. Her sobs filled the loft, but Jake's heart was already closing, the ring in his drawer a ghost of a future now gone. Packing was mechanical. Jake grabbed clothes, his laptop, a few books, stuffing them into a duffel. Maya watched, crying, begging him to stay. We can work through this, Jake. I'm sorry. He shook his head, the weight of her words suffocating. You don't get it? You broke us. Within hours, he was gone, driving to his parents' house an hour away, their spare room a temporary refuge. The loft, their home, was hers. No, who couldn't stay where trust had died. At 28, he felt like he'd lost not just Maya, but the man he'd been with her. His phone buzzed endlessly. Maya's calls, texts, voicemails. I messed up, Jake. I love you. Please, let's talk. He ignored them, each ping a stab. Friends weighed in. Some called him harsh, saying, she was just asking. Man, not cheating. Others backed him. If she wants that, you're not wrong to walk. But it wasn't about right or wrong, it was about betrayal. Maya's question wasn't a casual what if. It was a crack in their foundation, exposing a gap in values he couldn't bridge. Loving someone doesn't mean they get to test your limits, he told himself, staring at his childhood ceiling, the words a mantra to hold his ground. Jake's heart was a war zone. Grief, anger, relief. He missed Maya's laugh, her sketches scattered on the counter, their lazy Sundays. But her suggestion had rewritten their story. turning love into doubt. He wasn't perfect, but he'd been all in, and she'd won an out. Even if she called it exploration, the silence of his parents' house was heavy. But it gave him clarity. He'd chosen his boundaries over a love that no longer felt safe. At 28, he was starting over, carrying the pain, but also the strength of knowing what he wouldn't compromise. Maya's text slowed, then stopped, the silence final. Jake didn't know if she'd move on, reflect, or resent him. He only knew he couldn't go back. The loft, their dreams, were memories now, and he'd face the future alone, but true to himself. Listener, Jake's walked away, his trust shattered by Maya's question. Was he right to end it, or too quick to close the door? Stay with Metha's stories about to explore the aftermath of choosing boundaries over love. Jake's life was appended after Maya, his girlfriend of 5 years, suggested an open relationship, a question that shattered his trust. At 28, a software engineer in Denver, Jake had built a future with Maya. 27, an interior designer shared dreams of a house, kids, marriage. Her bombshell, framed as curiosity, felt like betrayal to Jake, whose values rooted in monogamy left no room for exploring. He ended it, moved out of their loft, and cut contact, choosing his boundaries over love. Now, alone in the aftermath, Jake grapples with his choice, weighing pain against principle, as their once vibrant love fades into a lesson hard learned. In his parents' spare room, surrounded by childhood relics, Jake replayed that night. Maya's words freed him. Curiosity still stung, a knife to the life he'd planned. At 28, he questioned himself. Was he too rigid, ending it so fast? Friends' voices echoed. Some called him uncompromising. Others admired his clarity. Maya's tearful pleas, her claim it was just a conversation, gnawed at him. Could he have listened, explored her reasoning? But each time he revisited her question, his gut screamed no. For Jake, love was a clear line of mutual commitment, no gray zones for trying others. Her suggestion wasn't infidelity, but it broke the pact he thought they shared. Jake's values, forged in 5 years of trust, left no wiggle room. He saw relationships as a binary choice, all in or nothing. Maya's open idea, even as a hypothetical, felt like a rejection of him, their plans, their exclusivity. It's not that she cheated, he'd muse, staring at Denver's lights from his temporary bed. It's that she wanted to rewrite what we were. The ring he'd hidden, ready for a proposal, stayed buried in a drawer, a relic of a future that no longer fit. Her question had shifted her in his eyes from partner to stranger, someone whose values no longer aligned. The pain was raw. Jake missed Maya's warmth, her sketches on the fridge, their hikes where she'd name every wildflower. Their loft, now hers, haunted high. Every corner held memories of laughter, love, plans. But alongside grief was relief, a quiet strength. He'd chosen himself, his principles, over a love that felt compromised. Not everyone who asks about opening is betraying, he reflected. But for some of us, the question alone is enough to end it. At 28, he'd learned his boundary. Trust and commitment weren't negotiable, no matter how deep the love. Maya's silence marked the end. Her texts had stopped, and mutual friends hinted she was hurt, but moving on, throwing herself into work. Jake felt a pang had he broken her, too, but her refusal to see his perspective, to honor his need for exclusivity, solidified his choice. He wasn't angry, just sad, carrying the weight of a love lost to incompatible truths. His parents' house, a stopgap, gave him space to rebuild. He coded, hiked alone, started journaling, each step a reclaiming of himself. The future was unclear, no loft, no Mayabit. He was free to shape it on his terms. Jake's reflection deepened. He didn't regret walking away, but he wondered about love's complexities. Could he have stayed, talked it out, found a middle ground? Maya's honesty in asking, not acting, showed care, yet it clashed with his core. He saw now that relationships weren't just about love, they were about shared definitions of it. His was rigid, hers fluid, and that gap was their undoing. At 28, he embraced the lesson. Love required alignment, not just affection, and boundaries weren't walls, but shields for his heart. The Denver skyline, once theirs, was now his alone. Jake stood at a trailhead one morning, the Rockies vast before him, feeling both broken and whole. He'd loved fiercely, lost deeply, but kept his truth intact. Love's not enough if it doesn't fit who you are, he thought, the wind carrying his resolve. He'd find love again, but only with someone whose values matched his, where open was never a question. So, listener, thanks for staying. Jake's chosen his boundaries, losing Maya but keeping his core. What do you think? Was Jake too quick to walk away? Or was he right to guard his values? If you were him, would you stay and listen? Or leave the moment the question was asked? Share bellow whim all ears. And if you're navigating love's tough choices, remember, your boundaries define your love, not just your heart. Keep listening, life's full of moments that show us who we are.